Welcome to my video. Today's topic is describe a time when you saw a wild animal. So you should say what the animal it was and when and where you saw it, what the animal did when you saw it, and how you felt when you saw it. Part 3 for this cue card is animals. Okay, now if you want to know, um, we'll be covering the vocabulary so that you can easily or effectively, easily and effectively speak about this topic. Now it will, if you work on this vocabulary, I think you're gonna get a good band score, like band score 7 plus, I suppose. Okay, now if it is when it comes to describing an animal, you have to this kind of vocabulary will come up. For example, a metal case, in captivity, a captive, a natural habitat, a wildlife sanctuary, in the wild, in the wilderness, uh, natural behavior. Okay, now if it is like we'll be covering like the very first question, what animal it was. So maybe anything: a lion, a tiger, a cheetah, a leopard, an elephant, a gorilla, you name it. Okay, you name it. All right, now if you want to say for example when and where you see it, so you can say during my trip to somewhere on a safari, on his last month, last year, last summer, several months ago, several years ago, a couple of months ago, a long time ago, in my childhood. So it's really and in terms of question answering the where, at the zoo, at the zoo, in a metal case, behind the glass, in the forest, in the wilderness, in the wild, you can say in a wild sanctuary, And what did the animal do when you saw it? So when you saw what the animal did actually, so the animal pretended to be dead. Maybe bear did this kind of thing. Many types of bear, they show they're dead but they're not actually. Was eating, was moving back and forth, kind of coming and going like gorilla and chimpanzee do that. Was chasing its prey, like was hunting, was swimming. If it is a dolphin, then it was swimming, like was basking in sunshine, was lying on the concrete floor in a kind of uh, trance, as if it was waiting to die, and in terms of answering how did you feel when you saw it, you have to say, you can say like this, what can I say, like uh, well uh, just a minute. Okay, so I didn't feel safe, you didn't feel safe, and I was afraid the animal would somehow escape from the cage and bite and to be dead. And I felt a bit terrified. I felt a bit terrified. You felt a bit terrified. I was nervous. I was nervous. I was excited. Like you can be excited to watch an animal. Okay, I had never seen this animal so closely before. I was so sorry for that poor animal, was it was kept behind the glass. You felt pity for the animal. It was kept in a cramped space, in a cramped, very small space, cramped small. It was kept in a concrete space, and it was kept in a tiny case, in a tiny, very tiny case that you feel pity. You felt pity actually. It was kept without access to natural light. The animal could hardly move there. It was cruel to confine a big carnivore, carnivore to a tiny, dark, artificial uh, enclosure where it never sees any daylight. Like, yeah, the animal didn't have a chance to seek privacy from the public. So always watching people is really The animal is annoyed and bothered. The animal didn't have an opportunity to take part in the natural behavior such as running, jumping, climbing, being able to hide from the public. Animal was unable to move from there more than 3 steps, so it's a very confined place, very small place. So a lot of things you can add to uh, to have those vocabularies and add your answer colorful and meaningful, really. So I want to say, I want to make a very some relevant answer by which how this is a sample answer basically. So describe animal when you saw an one animal. So you can say, I remember that several years ago when I went to the zoo while traveling abroad. It was then when I saw a real live wild animal for the first time. You know, probably I went to the zoo in my childhood, and I'm sure I did, but I don't have reliable memories about that experience. Okay, I thought I would be excited, but I saw a white tiger. I was upset and disappointed. This poor animal was kept in the cramped space without access to natural light. When I saw it, it was lying on the concrete floor in a kind of uh, trance as as if it was waiting to die. I think it's cruel to confine a big carnivore to a tiny dark artificial enclosure where it is never sees any daylight. I was really sorry for that tiger that didn't even have a chance to seek privacy from the public, and didn't have an opportunity to take part in the natural behavior, you know, such as running, jumping, climbing. Also, I was terrified. I was afraid the animal would somehow escape from the cage and bite me to death. On the other hand, on one hand, I knew the case was strong enough, so this is very unlikely to happen. But there were always what ifs in the mind, and which make me feel nervous seeing a big wild animal not far from you. So this was one of the most unpleasant experiences in my life, and I really hope I won't have to go to a zoo in the future. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So repeat as many times as possible and use subtitles to it more sensible, understandable to you and your language. Thanks very much.